So hello everyone. So today we will talk about closures in Kotlin. So you might be using closure in Swift and we know what is closure, but in Kotlin this is very good to have. So let's just start using closure. Let's just create a function and let's just get books. In here we will the closer. I'll name that as callback and the closer. So, first of all, I'm going to show you what is syntax. So, this is basically the syntax of closure. It is, in other words, you can call that as Lambda. If you are used to with Java, then it's same as Lambda. So, what it does. So, if we don't have that closure, on that case, what we have to do, we have to create an interface. For example, I call back other callback I might be have on call or something like that. And instead of that, we might be using my callback. And for calling that, we need to be call something like that. So if we are using closer, then this code gets a bit shorter as we don't have to create the interface. And for calling the closer, it is pretty easy. We can just call that. That's great. So this is actually the closer. And you can put just like an interface as we can do. We was okay. Let me create another callback. The first one will be with the interface, and the second one will be with the closer. Then we can compare between them. Okay. Callback or callback two. So this is actually equivalent of this, but if you want to put some parameter, the function call, what you can do, you could have call like message string. This thing is also possible. My mess. Okay. Keep the name. Lord of dogs. Okay, we can do the same using the closer. In that case, we have to just provide the type clear and we can, you can see it already providing my error because it was for the variable. I can just call it. So you can say this is that simple. You can again uh just like that you can call for any sort of return type like boolean. You can do the same here. So you can see closer basically shortened our interface things, or it basically removes, or what's it called, some massive pain from the callback, from the interface. You can even have multiple function like on call 2. So this is pretty simple for when you're using interface that is pretty cool. Da, da, da. But when you are using closer, you'll be able to do so. What you can do, you can think like that, okay, both of them will be a single function, so the first parameter will be for the first function and the second parameter will be for the second function. By thinking so, you can do your task, but there is still another good way that I will show you. So first of all, get rid of the interface and try to use that get books, so it has the callbacks to, it's an object. Oh, it's a good thing. As we all know, for using a closer for an interface, we had to use object, then the interface name, blah blah blah, a lot of things. But when you're using the closer, you don't have to do anything except this. And for the parameters, as you can say, in case of when you will be using Swift, you might have used this. This is a bit easier in here. You have to call the first parameter first. In my case, the first parameter name is tier 1, and this tier 2. And sorry, maybe I am wrong in here. This is something I'm missing. Sorry for that. Okay. Come on. Okay. I do it. I'm not wrong. This was S tier 1, S tier 2. Okay. Maybe I have to provide the type also. Sorry, I'm wrong again. Where? Any sort of type. Okay, so what is that? My main functions. So what you have to do, you have to provide this work. So let's say S1 and S2 is it. Now we can basically read the things out of that, like int long S1, and that should work. So this is a way of using a closer for a very simple thing, but today we will move that a bit ahead. We'll use a seal class along with the closer. So for that, let's just think, let's just first create a seal class, calling that seal class as response, and in that response we got a class like success, and the response as well And we have another class failure. We'll keep the parameter, construct the parameter. Like val message or just like response or to sorry CDC call. And for that, let's just think we have exception. No error messages. Let's call that my response. And instead of using here multiple parameter, we can use just like an enum. I hope you already know how to use an enum with a closer. If you don't, let me do that for you too. First, I will use the enum. So that to the enum class. Now, just success and hero. Success. Really. So if we put the enum right in here, like my response enum, we'll get a lot of opportunities to work with. So in case of here, we can write my response dot success or my response dot failure. It can also happen randomly. Okay, if random dot next boolean true, is not, then this else this. Sorry for that. Okay, and found out this is working pretty good. So in case of a single parameter, so you don't need to pass anything, just call it. I'll say when it is dash, look for the remaining branches, and you can do your things right in here. Success. Failure. So this is what we can do with a closer with any num. A single parameter will multiple state. I know this is really cool. Let's just think about in another way. Instead of using enum, this time we're using the closers. Did always success? No, sometimes it's happened. Okay, let's just do it. So instead of using the enum, I will use this time the closer. So it will be like success, but we can also pass some value. Yeah, that's it. Lord of the Rings. Cave. What's wrong with you? I hope. Okay. It's doing great. Record my response, but I found my response to success. Okay, so he is complaining about. Okay, so Basically, I have done something wrong. That should be my response. Sorry for that. And this time the error is gone. And for the failure, we have to provide the exception. We can also skip the exception by using value like now for that. And it should be okay. What is wrong with them? Okay. Ah, you know, and that's it. We're done with here. So in case of closer, there should be a is before that. And make sure you don't have that enum. Now we don't have to do that. We can also pass the value with that. So I'll say $8 dot response. So this response is basically this response. It is already referring that. And for the error, we can also have that too. You can see. So this is how we can use a closer along with our steel class, and it works really great. It works really good. I do like that very much. So if you think that is a good thing, then you should also start using that. So goodbye. See you then.